Do you think we'll get batches 1 to 26 soon? Hello whisky fans, bit of a blast from the past today because I'm retasting Monkey Shoulder blended malt whisky. So it's a blended malt, meaning that it's a mixture of at least 2 single malts, as opposed to blended Scotch, which also contains grain whisky. For anyone that didn't understand the introduction there, they are all batch 27, every single bottle, which probably has something to do with the fact that you put batch or small batch or limited edition on a bottle of whisky, and at least whisky distillers think that it makes it seem that little bit more exclusive and fancy. But because there are no laws governing such terminology, they can do pretty much whatever they want, even though it doesn't mean anything at all. So anyway, let's get on with nosing and tasting Monkey Shoulder blended malt whisky. So immediately, even though this is only 40%, I'm getting quite a lot of youth, quite a young, raw, harsh graininess to the nose. And it's not particularly pleasant, if I'm honest. There is a faint, indistinct fruitiness, which, if I had to pin it down, I'd probably say it's closest to apple peels, a bit of a bitter apple peel note. Also a little bit of caramel, burnt caramel, a little bit of cardboard, a bit worryingly, and there is something very faintly fishy about the nose of this whisky. So it's not a particularly pleasant nose. Not a particularly good start. Monkey Shoulder, years ago, used to be my go-to if anyone who was beginning in the world of whisky asked for a good recommendation. It would almost always be the case that if I was talking to a newcomer in the world of whisky, they would either tell me that they'd tried Monkey Shoulder and they really like it, or I'd recommend it to them, they'd go off and buy a bottle, and it would really kickstart their enthusiasm and get them really interested in all of the flavours that you can find in a really good Scotch whisky. But this is something different. It's not at all as I remember it. But let's persevere, let's try the palate and see what's going on there. So on the palate, the first thing that jumps out at you is a particularly gingery, raw wood spice. I don't know if they've used some new oak or particularly overactive casks in this, or possibly some reshaved casks. But it definitely tastes like they've done something a bit modern, and something, if I'm honest, not quite to my liking with this one, to try and boost something which seems a bit lackluster. Along with the wood spice, I'm getting some more apple notes, but again it's reasonably faint and muted, and it's sort of a bit of a dried up apple note, an apple that's a little bit past its best. And also a little bit of a grassy note there as well. Something that you might perhaps find more in an American style whisky rather than Scotch. But overall it must be said that it's really quite bitter, and there's a profound lack of sweetness on the nose and the palate. So a little bit of caramel on the palate, but it must be said that it's spicy, grassy, young, and worryingly bitter. There's really no sweetness there. As for a finish, I'm going to say medium short and again bitter. As for a grade, sadly it's not going to be particularly good with this one. It's going to be a D+. I was almost tempted to stretch it to a C-, but this really isn't good compared to where it was 5 or 6 years ago, so I'm going to go with a D+. One of the things that I did used to really like about Monkey Shoulder blended malt whisky is that it's made by the William Grant & Sons company, who own Glenfiddich, Balvenie and Kinninvie single malt distilleries, and Monkey Shoulder was a blend of those 3 single malts. And all 3 of those, Glenfiddich, Balvenie and Kinninvie, are distilleries that I really like, and all 3 of them, especially Glenfiddich and Balvenie, you could identifiably taste in the mix of Monkey Shoulder. But these days it's seeming more and more like a blended Scotch rather than a blended malt, and you've definitely lost that fruitiness from the Glenfiddich and Balvenie. I'm wondering if they've started to use some lower quality casks in the recipe for this one to save a little bit of money. I've actually got my notes here from when I tasted Monkey Shoulder in 2014. So back then on the nose I said young, about not necessarily a huge detraction. Sugary, icing sugar, sugary oranges, green apples, malty, sugary malt and barley sugar, oloroso. On the palate, sweet sherry and green apples, but light, a little dry oakiness and coffee. Finish, medium, mild and pleasantly bittersweet. So almost everything that I picked out 6 years ago is just nowhere to be found on the nose, palate or finish of the modern Monkey Shoulder. Bit sad really. So I'm not really going to be able to recommend that one to people anymore. I think what I might start doing instead is recommending this guy. Naked Grouse is also a blended malt Scotch whisky, and they put some really nice Oloroso casks into this one, and it's actually a little bit cheaper than Monkey Shoulder. So at least for now it looks like Naked Grouse might have taken Monkey Shoulder's place, which is a little bit sad, but these things happen. Cheers.